All right, for today, the first thing that we're going to do is focus on just drawing out our leaf and then doing an underpainting. So you can see here I've already drawn out my leaf, and again I'm using the same leaf that's in the assignment, and so now we're going to begin the underpainting. So what we're going to do that's different on this is we're not going to use the color green at all. So I'm going to simply just move those out of the way. And the reason why we don't want to use the color green is we really want to try to get into the habit of matching our colors. So if you only have the three primaries, black and white, you're going to be fine because those are going to be basically the colors that you'll be using. But if you have a lot of colors, sometimes it's really easy for us to just assume that it's that instead of trying to actually mix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out a couple colors that I think will work. So one of them is going to be yellow ochre. So again, I'm using the same paints for those of you, if you got paint from me. I'm using that same stuff, and I squeezed out too much there, but that's okay. I'm going to use, I'm going to try some phthalo blue. Let's see how that does. I don't think I'll need a lot of that for today. And I'm going to try the medium yellow for now. Do a little bit, but I'm going to look at my mixing chart really quick just to see if that would help. So looking at my mixing chart, this is why it's helpful to have this. If I'm looking at the color green, a little bit like that, maybe. So yeah, medium yellow, definitely the lemon, it's not going to help me. The yellow ochre I think will though too, but now it's more of the blue. So it is phthalo, yeah, the blue lake. Okay, so we're going to definitely keep with the phthalo. So again, that's why it's really helpful to have your mixing chart so you can kind of see some stuff with that. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm also going to grab some burnt sienna, just in case I need that for something. I'm not going to get a lot of that color because I don't think I'll need it too much right now. All right, so step one is to create an underpainting. So if you think back to the acrylic basics that we did, we kind of did an underpainting at first a little bit, but we haven't done one that's over, like, for instance, the image that we're trying to do. So before I create the underpainting, I now need to create my greens. So I'm going to first kind of just start to play a little bit with mixing the yellow and the blue. And that's really bright, so now I'm going to try to tone that down some with that yellow ochre, and you can see obviously the difference in that color now. That added the yellow ochre and how that kind of completely changes it up. So if it was really yellow, obviously I would leave it like that, but it's not, so I'm going to add some blue. Maybe a little bit more of that yellow. Touch of the burnt sienna. Back to the blue. And again, you can just see I'm doing that. I'm kind of figuring that out. So now I'm going to create an underpainting. So I'm going to grab some water. And we're just working on our sketchbook paper. So I'm going to grab some water now so I can have this watered down some. And I'm just going to paint over my leaf with this underpainting. And you can see this is kind of a pretty terrible color, to be honest with you. But it'll be okay. So I'm going to come in, follow along my drawing. Try to keep this as watered down as best as you can. Doesn't need to be super heavy. But again, just like we did earlier for our acrylic basics, this is just going to help to give us a good reference point basically to start off with. And I am going to leave where my veins are, I'm going to leave those, just like you can see in the picture as well. So you can see as I'm working, I'm just getting a little bit of water when I need it, keeping it so it's almost turning into like a watercolor in terms of opacity. Definitely just want to be able to see the paper. That's a little too strong down there, so that's why. And start on this side now. When you draw out your picture, make sure that you are drawing it really lightly. You don't really want a heavy line for your outline. Just keep that nice and light. And again, you could probably hardly see mine as I'm working. So again, that's kind of a good reference point. So, and I just used a regular pencil, like a regular number 2 pencil. It was not a mechanical one, but as long as you're just drawing, keeping your hand really light, that'll be the important part. And so this is what you're going to focus on doing for today, is drawing your picture out and at least getting the underpainting of it done. Matching that color green as best as what you can see to some degree in the photo that's on the assignment.